Hi, Vineyard Marysville. I'm so glad you can join me for this coffee break with Conrad. I do have my coffee in hand. Once again, I'm in my office, and this time I'm on the couch with the world map above me, and it looks like I'm right off the coast of Santiago in the South Pacific Ocean, in case you're wondering. And, just reflecting on our time on Sunday, when I was thinking about what we did on, what I shared on Sunday morning during the sermon about how one of the ways I think God is redeeming this time is He is teaching us worship. And He teaches us worship. We learn worship best in the desert. We learn worship in the wilderness. During times of isolation, if we press into God, God teaches us worship. And I've been thinking a lot about that, and because that's actually one of the things that God's been doing in me in recent days. Even today, while I was at the church, and I was actually I went up into the sanctuary and I started organizing the chairs as to how they could be arranged so that we can have appropriate social distance when we have our our in-person worship service on the 31st. And I was, having the chairs rearranged with a little more distance in between the chairs and different things like that. And I spent time just worshiping God in the sanctuary. And I found myself just full of praise toward God and singing simple love songs to God in the sanctuary just a couple hours ago. And it felt so good to do that. Sometimes those times of prayer and those times of worship are in the closet. We call it the prayer closet. When we're all by ourselves and nobody sees it but God. Because really worship is to an audience of one, and we are to worship God even when nobody's around. And that's when we learn worship, and we grow in the depth of worship, worshiping God in spirit, worshiping God in truth. And so just thinking about that, one of the things that God's been teaching me a lot is as I'm going for walks with my dog, worship God. As I'm getting up early in the morning and sitting on my porch, listening to the birds and worshiping God. As I go for walks through town, looking at the city, walking by the courthouse, worshiping God and singing simple love songs to Jesus. We can sing songs and hymns and spiritual songs, making melody in our hearts to the Lord. So we learn worship in the wilderness, and that's been a theme, that's been something I've been thinking a lot about. And I just want to encourage you to really spend a lot of time. One more sip here. I do want to encourage you to spend a lot of time worshiping God this week and spending time with Him and sing those simple love songs to Jesus. Think about the words to the songs that you're singing and learn to be a worshiper even in isolation, even when you're all by yourself, because you're not by yourself. God is with you. He's closer than the air you breathe.